So, it's a very long essay. Obviously, the John Locke essay competition is 2,000 words long, so I have helpfully summarised the essay into the key themes so we don't have to read it all through. The essay essentially delves into belief and the involuntary nature of belief, which is what the candidate is arguing, by examining neurobiological and socio-cultural influences on perception. A lot to unpack there, right? They're basically splitting the themes up into neurobiology and socio-cultural influences. So neurobiology being a subsection of psychology that deals with the brain and the physicalities that go on in the brain and the brain's functioning and structure, whereas socio-cultural is slightly different from psychology, but nevertheless very linked to psychology. The student then goes on to argue that neurobiological research shows that brain abnormalities and unconscious processes significantly affect perception, which leads to involuntary belief. So coming back to that question, which you always need to keep in mind, are beliefs voluntary? So they're already just clearly showing in their argument that beliefs are not voluntary. In fact, they are involuntary, because and they are using a very interesting and unique way of doing this by showing brain abnormalities, whether that might be a brain injury or some other sort of genetic brain abnormality, causes this involuntary belief via perception. And don't worry if you don't understand these terms, I don't want to overwhelm you. I'm just trying to show how they've approached the question. Thirdly, they talk about socio-cultural factors, which might make a little bit more sense. So, groupthink shapes beliefs, which reinforces the idea that belief is involuntary. And that's a really important point as well. So, just to sort of show why this essay is so effective, not only are they talking about the brain and functioning and processes and how that, adds to their argument, but they've taken a concept from social psychology called groupthink, which is essentially about social influence and how we are very easily influenced by the people around us, especially when we are in a group situation. And that's another way of addressing the question of, are beliefs voluntary? And again, they are clearly arguing, no, beliefs are not voluntary, they are involuntary. You can see the argument coming through already in this summary. And the candidate concludes by arguing that ultimately, belief is shaped by unconscious mechanisms and external influences. So unconscious mechanisms being the ones inside the brain, and external influences being the socio-cultural and social psychology phenomena such as groupthink, which challenges the notion of voluntary control over beliefs.